Hey Don, this week I thought we'd try something different. We do a ton of sour mash bourbons, but I got something different for you this week.
Hey, not only that, but we're also going to talk about Nashville, so stay tuned.
Whiskey, take my mind. Let me leave it all behind. Take me somewhere I can find someone to believe.
Hi, welcome to this week's edition of What's New at Charlie's. Well, this week we're going to be trying some Hard Truth Distilling High Road. We've got a sweet mash, Don, instead of my good friend Mr. Don Wayne is a bourbon full, instead of a sour mash whiskey. So we got a rye and we got a bourbon from these guys.
And
So,
both of them are sweet mash.
both of them are sweet mash, which is a little, I don't know if it's unheard of, but it's unusual.
Well, full disclosure, I told you we're going to Nashville, and we're actually going to Nashville, Indiana, because that's the home of Hard Truth Distilling.
Yeah, above a pizza parlor, right?
Well, it was originally above a pizza parlor. Now it's on their own 325-acre campus.
So they've done all right for themselves, huh?
I think they're doing okay.
They're doing okay. So yeah. So I guess the first thing is, Don, what's the difference between sweet mash and sour mash?
Well, it's to understand sweet mash, let's first tell you what sour mash is.
Yep.
And the great
I'm going to open and pour while you're talking. How's that sound?
the great world of bourbon is primarily a sour mash world.
Yep.
Okay, going back a long ways. And what that means is when they distill a lot of bourbon or rye whiskey, they will then save some of the setbacks, some of the used grains, and use it to kick off the next batch.
Yep.
So there is like a continual lineage of product that goes back. It helps with the pH balance, and that is why it's so prevalent in the world. Fast forward to sweet mash, and sweet mash just means that every batch is brand new and clean. They use the same recipe, but they don't use any previous mash from the previous batch.
Okay. All right.
So sweet mash is unusual. Unusual because it's rare.
Right.
And it'll be interesting to see what these are. And I love having a sweet mash bourbon versus a sweet mash rye.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it was going to be something cool to check out and see the difference for us. I mean,
Which one did you pour?
we started with bourbon. You know that.
All right.
I'm going to start with the bourbon because you
Okay.
know I don't like rye, right?
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah. All right. Let's see what the bourbon's got going.
All right. Good thing you started with this one. It's 90 proof.
Yeah. Yeah.
The next one goes up a little bit.
Okay, all right. Well, this one's got a little hug to it at 90. Has a good sweet flavor on the front end.
It's really sweet.
Really sweet. So
Really sweet.
so far I'm good. I'm happy with my choice.
That's good.
It's very good. The finish is a little thin, I think.
It is.
The
It is.
the flavor up front in the first burst is fantastic. This kind of goes away.
So
But,
it's really sweet,
Mm-hmm.
but you've got some good cinnamon-like spice,
yeah.
some brown sugar, a lot of the normal bourbon,
Yeah.
but it's almost tastes hotter than 90.
It does. It does taste hotter than 90. Do you know what the mash bill is on that? Did we find that out anywhere?
Could not find it out.
It's got to have some rye in it, right? It's got a little.
Oh,
got a
yeah.
lot. I mean, it's got to be a kind of a high rye bourbon, I would think.
Well, except that there's an awful lot of sweetness there.
Good point. Good point.
So there, I really couldn't find it out. And Hard Truth makes a lot of products.
Yeah.
I was really amazed. They have a series of whiskey with the brand name Sipes, S-I-P-E-S.
No, I've seen that before.
Okay,
Yeah.
they have a lot of those, and then they have an awful lot of flavored type spirits.
Okay.
So it was interesting to look at what they did.
It's kind of how a lot of guys get started, right? I mean,
Yeah,
you
because-
got to pay the bills while you're waiting for the stuff to age, right?
Right. So cheers. Let's try.
Cheers. These are the rye.
This is the rye.
Yep. It's a rye.
Interesting though.
Yeah.
It's still got a little sweetness
A
going
little
there.
bit.
So this one is 93 proof.
Okay.
I expected a much different contrast.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not as different as I thought it was going to be.
No.
Pretty smooth. And I never thought I would ever say this, but I almost think it's less spicy than the bourbon.
A little bit. I was just going to say it's a little easier drinking than the bourbon.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. That's interesting. Because you know I don't like rye, right?
Right. Which one did you just pour?
The rye, this one. Yeah.
High Road Rye.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little smoother than the bourbon.
So there's a very interesting juxtaposition right there is you have 93 proof, so it's a little hotter, but it doesn't drink as hot as the lower proof.
Yeah,
It's just interesting way whiskey develops.
it is. Yeah. Ryes always tend to mature faster, right?
Well, they don't need as much barrel aging
Right.
to,
So maybe that's part of it. I don't know what the age statement would be on these. We don't really have that information. But the packaging is sweet. It's a great looking bottle, man.
Yeah.
I think the price point's pretty fair on them. I don't think they were a ton of money, if I remember right. So all in all, they're very tasty.
well, I will tell you that it's really one of the first Indiana bourbons we've done outside of MGP.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. From Nashville, anyway.
That's right. That's right. So these are good choices, and I'd be interested to see whoever comes into Charlie's or tries the two at home, if you see the same kind of comparisons that we did.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, well, Don, thank you, man. Good choices and cheers. Thanks for the
Cheers.
sweet mash lesson.
And hard truth, keep it up.
Keep working.
You're gonna a visit to your locations on our bucket list too.
Yeah, we'll go there. Let's go there. Yeah. Cheers. I've always wanted to go to Nashville.